pop this back up here for our friends playing at home. It is October 25th. We're going to do 3-2-3 today, but we're checking 3-2-2 first. Here, guys, again, the multiplication needs to happen first. So 2.5 times 4. I take the negative or the minus with the 2.5. So I took that minus and put it with the 2.5. If you didn't, this would have been 7.69 minus 10, which still gets you negative 2.31. Any questions there? Flip into the back. We've got our tight ropes with unknown sections. Guys, please stick up a hand. Even if you don't know what to ask, you can just be like, yeah, that one doesn't make sense to me. If you do not know how to solve these. Now, you don't have to have this that I wrote over here. You might have just reasoned through it and said, well, if I take 10 off of my 28, I have 18. So what done 3 times gets 18? 6. So you don't need to have this work written out. You might have just kind of reasoned through it. But you need to have something kind of making sense of this. John? This is not turned in yet. We're checking it right now. 3-2-2. It was on the homework from last week. If I open up my plan book and check, it was actually, well, so it was here on Thursday, but as you see, I made different notes for what I needed to teach. On Friday, I told you guys you didn't need to turn it in. You maybe still did.
Yeah, you said turn it in.
Oh, I mean, hey, guys, sit down. Sit down. If you did this already, then you probably don't need to check it again. I don't care. I'm doing it for anyone that thinks they need to. So, if you don't have it in front of you, if you already turned it in, whatever. But I said you didn't need to. I extended the due date for you. And now you're freaking out and making my job more stressful. 2 times something. What is that something? 3.5, because we got to get to 7. In 49, we got to have common denominators. And in 50, perimeter and area. Now, guys, I am going to start to go slightly faster when we check homework because you have access to me solving out your homework for you. Check it. By the way, I heard Ed Sheeran has COVID. Yep. As he was just on the front of whatever. By the way, I got above 300 subscribers. Woo! Whatever. If you search up Micah Hudson, I'm now recording homework help videos. So I have multiple videos up here solving out the 3.2.2 homework. If for any reason you're not done with those problems, check out that video. It will probably help you. Any other real quick questions before we dive into the lesson today? You need out 3-2-3. If 3-2-2 is ready to turn in, go ahead and turn it in. If it's not, turn it in later. Yeah, because what I was going to have you keep it for, we can just write on our graph paper. So we need graph paper out, but we also need 3-2-3 out. We need graph paper out, but we also need 3-2-3 out. Notice, examples from class versus your practice work that you have to do at home or not in class. Right? Notice this stuff is not your homework. Not homework. If you need one of these, they're up on the podium. If you need one of these, they're up on the podium. Yeah, you're good, John. Everyone have graph paper out? Because we always need graph paper out. If you don't, get it out, please. Today is 3-2-3. So if your graph paper doesn't have the sign yet, please do this with me. 3-2-3. What are we doing today? We're doing subtraction, but we're doing multiplication. What? Subtraction. As multiplication. previously, we've talked about how, like, division is multiplication, right? Dividing by 2 is the same thing as multiplying by half. But today we're going to talk about how subtraction is multiplication. Now, that's kind of weird. So before we dive into that, I want you on your paper to write this down. 7 minus negative 2. What does that mean? Talk with your teammates about what does that mean, what answer do we get, and if you were asked to model it with tiles, could you? If you were asked to model it, I got more to get out. So I skipped you guys because you're going to get the first set here. If you were going to model this, how could you? Man, nobody taking the primetime desk up here. I know.
This is where I always
Now remember, especially because it's Monday morning, you are welcome to pass. We might as well shuffle. We haven't shuffled in a little while. You always get called. Your name always ends up coming up. All of you that say I never, I always, that's your human brain just like wanting to focus on you. Not here today. Hey Zeus, do you want to talk about like what we are doing here, what we're getting? Yeah, you can always pass. Sometimes I will ask another question before I let you pass. Eli, I know you're same group, but do you have thoughts to share? Now, I agree with what you said based off like the math we do, but if you were to show this to somebody, like I dropped that stuff on your desk and told you guys to model this, can you tell me how to model it? Like, so I got these tiles, right? We got this pile, we used these a couple weeks ago, I think. What should I set up here first? So, if your team didn't do this, somebody, doesn't have to be all of you, put 7 plus, like, positive tiles out here. So I have 7. Let's see if I can get focus. No, they're rubber. They actually, if your parents have ever done any tile work, what's funny is these look like tile spacers. These little doodads that go between tiles to keep them nicely spaced apart. So, I have 7. I need to remove negative 2. Okay, I'm going to grab... Crap.
You don't have negative 2.
I don't have negatives to be able to remove. John, do you want to tell me what I... But why? You can't just say basically.
So, if it was 7...
So I'm going to pause you for a second. I have to remove 2 negatives. I have to figure out how. You can't just tell me, just add, like, I have to remove 2 negatives. If you're going to tell me how to remove 2 negatives, fine. But now this isn't 7. Alright, hold on just a second. Farah, what does John actually want me to put in here?
I don't think it's a put. I think it's a takeaway. Maybe you want to take 2 addition signs away?
I want to take 2 negatives away, but I don't have any right now. Lucas?
I believe subtracting 2 negatives, taking out 2 negatives is the same as adding.
You're right! But why? I keep like you guys are right. But John?
Okay, since you have 2 negatives in there, I need to show it like up there. Like
I can't just put this here.
Put the 2 negatives with
What you're trying to tell me to do is add 0. We last week talked about what is this together? 0. What is this together? 0. Now, can I do I have negatives to take away? Yes, but hold on. Is this still 7? Yes. Because this is 0 and this is 0. So now I can take away the negatives. You can't just say basically. You gotta talk about why. Guys, so look up here again. Look up here again. Let's play this out. If I have $7, can I remove -2? Well, not how it looks right now, because all I have is positives. But this is still 7. Still 7. Still 7. I can do this as many times as I want. Right? Still 7. And now I've got plenty that I can take away 2 of the negatives. And now I end up with 2 extra positives. That's the reasoning behind the why. Like, I know that I've been training you, and that's really what it has essentially been, that minus a negative becomes plus a positive. But the reason is that when we bring in zeros, these are zeros, right? And then remove 2 negatives, I end up with leftover positives. So it's really +2. And we really get 9. Questions on that one? Before I click on, I should ask questions on that one. Then with your team, discuss all of these different problems. I'm going to make them bigger, yeah. You do not have to solve each of them. Just talk with each other about what would happen, what would you do. Does it need to become addition? Is it already okay? I'm going to make it bigger. Here, I'll ask an even better question. Which of these situations do what we just did? Like, I'll ask that better question. Which of these situations does what we just did? So take a minute to talk with each other. If you don't have to write anything down right now, we're just investigating. Oh, by the way, I'm missing a calculator. I'm missing like one of the yellow ones, so if you see it, please bring it back. I'm sure it's around here somewhere. Where did my deck go? Aha. I mean, I think we're going to use them again.
Okay.
Marina, you want to tell me one of these that comes out to do the special thing that we just did? Yeah, the third one here has minus a negative, and that will actually become addition. But like I heard people saying, like 6 minus 2, we can do that. Like that's like I have $6, I give somebody $2. I now have $4. Yeah, thank you for those of you awake. Vanessa, you got another one that you can tell me does that special thing? 0 minus negative. So I had nothing, and now I'm taking away negatives. What that actually is going to do is leave me those leftover positives. Layla Davis. Is there any others up here that do that weird thing? Yeah, this one. But guys, here's what I'm trying to point out to you. Give me your eyes up here. A negative and a negative. Nothing special happens. It's 2 bad guys. They team up and make a bigger bad guy. The trap door. I got eyes not on me. The trap door. I'm telling you from 10 years teaching math, nothing special happens here. It's only when we're removing negatives. That special thing happens. So, these were on our paper, but like most of you already turned this in. Which one up here has that special thing happen? Farah, do you know? Which one has that special, or there might be more than one. B, yeah, this becomes addition, because minus the negative, so that actually, we did this last week, that actually became 28. Franco, is there any other ones up here? A, because we try to take away negatives right here. That's going to become addition, but like we said last week, the negative still wins, so it doesn't become positive. Aiden, any other special, where did Aiden go? Any other special case here? That didn't sound like Aiden's voice. Was it you? Did you? I'm pretty sure Vanessa just threw her voice over for you. Who just said F? I might just be going crazy. Deekshita. Yeah, Farah's out there selling you out. She's back there. It was this person right here. It was her. Minus the negative here. That also would become addition. Alright, so I want you to either write this out in numbers, draw it out in pictures, like do something to figure out where Juno ends up. So Juno was riding an elevator in a very tall building. He started at the ground floor, which in France is actually considered floor 0. Guys, we do a lot of dumb things in America.
That's a little weird.
You are on the ground floor right now. You didn't go up. You didn't go down. You're on floor 0. But we in America, because we're silly, call it floor 1. In France, you walk in on floor 0. Okay, so think about a number line. So Juno walks in at floor 0. Then he went up 26 floors. Then he rode down 7 floors. Then he went up another 3 floors. And then down again another 16 floors. What floor is Juno on now? Write it out with numbers, draw it out with a picture, do whatever you want. In France. He is in France. Yeah, he is in France. So he is starting at floor 0. He is in France. He's in France.
Oh, my bad.
We are starting at 0. Aiden, how do I say that he went up 26 floors? Oh, yeah, that was, never mind, your card was just left over on top. Lucas, how do I say we went up 26 floors? Plus 26. Vincent, what about writing down 7 floors? Yeah, but I can't go back in time. John, do you see these things in my hand? I use them to talk with every student in the class so that you're not the only person talking all class. Does it make sense to you, my system? So does talking over somebody after I call on them help me do that? Help me help you, right? I know you know it, but I'm trying to make sure everyone knows it. Sorry, Vincent, what? So we could say and, which we said is always plus, but then negative, right? He went down. Because, guys, you can't go back in time. You just can keep adding more and more things on. So, Mia, what would I write after this plus? I swear I saw Mia this morning. Oh, there. I don't know how I'm looking past you. Absolutely. Carmen, the next thing is this. Absolutely. Antonella, if next he went up 3 floors, how can I write that? Yeah, plus 3, right? It's positive. It's and Layla, what do I write next? Now we're here. Then down again another 16 floors. Plus negative 16. We should have something like this written on our paper. Something like this. And we started at 0, so guys, we could literally say 0 plus. 0 and we started at 0. So, Isabella, if I put all of my up trips together, what's 26 and 3? Yeah, and then if I put all my down trips together, I mean, there are other ways to do it, right? We can go up, down, or I can say how much did I go up, how much did I go down. So, negative 7 and negative 16. So, remember, 2 down trips. Guys, this is why we're doing this problem. Does 2 down trips actually take me up? No! 2 down trips takes me down. This is the trap door. Kids say, oh, 2 negatives make a positive. No! That's a multiplication trick, guys. 2 negatives are 2 trips down. So we went down 20, 23. I think somebody correct my math if I need to. Eve, what do you think here? With a positive 29 and a negative 23, who wins? Yeah, the positive is going to win, right? Which makes sense because unless this hotel has a big old basement, it makes sense that we're going to end up positive. So, how much does my positive win by? 6. He ends up on the 6th floor, which hopefully is where his room is.
Why did he take so many trips?
The elevator's fun.
Only if it's a glass elevator. The other ones make me sick.
You don't ever just like take trips in an elevator? All right, get out your 323 paper, please. I want to put it in front of you so we can all see. You can if you want, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to talk about the tiles at least for problem 10. So, problem 10. Problem E here. So I will tell you, I'm going to keep my tiles out to use them on problem E. Guys, this is on your paper. This is on your paper. You don't have to write down the problem. It should be in front of you. Guys, if I walk around and people have to scramble to get out their worksheet, I'm going to be sad. This should be out on your desk. 323 examples from class. Guys, I'm telling you, like, my first year doing CPM, I didn't do any of this, and we just had to take notes on everything. I do this to make your life easier, right? And so that when you're working on homework, you can look back at the problems we did together. I know you guys complained about last time I said take a couple minutes, so here we go. Timer. Take at least half of my timer, which will be 2.5 minutes. Take at least that long to talk to each other about all of these questions. Which ones are special? Which ones need something to do to them? And can we make these into, like, addition? I like addition problems. So I'm flipping the timer, putting it on the camera.
Yes, that's perfect.
Basically, when you have something like this, like two of the same like symbols together, it's basically just adding them. When you have two different ones, it's basically subtracting them.
So, did it make sense? Let's say I have 10 of the positives. Does it make sense why if I go to, that's 10 negatives. But, like, if I go to take away negatives, like the problem we looked at, does it make sense that, like, I can't, quote unquote, I can't take any away unless I bring in some zeros, and then when I take away the negative, it leaves extra positives. Did that all make sense? So the first problem that we did was 7, take away negative 2, right? With 7, we cannot take away negative 2 right now. But is this still 7 if I add 0? Yeah. Is this still 7 if I add another 0? Yeah. I can add as many zeros as I want. now I can take away negatives. And when I take away, right, subtract negative values, what do I actually leave here? More of positive, right? When I take away negative, when I minus negative, I leave extra positives. That's why, absolutely what you're saying. This becomes plus, because removing negatives actually leaves us extra positives. Does that make sense? That's why I said we're going to keep some tiles out to talk about this one. So like if I started with 2.2, positive, and I remove negative, removing negative, that's actually going to leave us extra positives. So we want to go ahead and change that to a plus. Yeah. So go ahead and do that with those. Talk with your team. I think you're on the right track. We could have. You didn't actually have to do this, but I like it. That was good. Yeah, it all looks good. Good work. It all looks good. Yeah. We'll check it here in a second, but I think it's good. You asked me to do that fast, but I think your math is good. Deekshita! One of my favorite games, I think from Sesame Street, was one of these things. Whoa. Whoa, if y'all are judging me, look, everything I know from the streets, the Sesame Streets. One of these things is not like the others. Can you tell me which one, Deekshita? Can you tell me which one of these is not like the others? Why is C not like the others? Hey, there are lots of people still talking, and I gave you at least half the timer. It's almost been the whole timer. This only has subtraction, whereas every other problem up here, after the subtraction, comes a negative. And we said, from talking about our tile work, that when you remove negatives out of a situation, when you remove negatives, you actually leave leftover positives, or your number just gets higher, like more positive. So the work we should have shown, and I'm going to color code this, is between every minus the negative. Guys, I want to see this V. Between every minus the negative. Wait, ooh, there's a bunch over here. There's a bunch over here. And then it becomes plus, 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 plus. And then rewrite it. Guys, here's the other trap. We used both of the minus and the negative, but here, look up the board. Sorry, I'm zooming in so we can see it real well. We're using the minus and the negative, but I didn't touch the negative one. Nothing happened out here. So negative 1 still comes down as negative 1, but then this is positive 6.5 because we used the negative. Right? Please make sure, check your work, that you did not keep this as a negative. We used it. It went into the plus. So now, who wins here, the negative or the positive? Positive wins by 5.5. B becomes 2.2 plus 2.2. What do we get? 4.4. D, the negative 100 hasn't changed. Negative 100 plus 98. Ooh, negative 2. I'm going to put it in parentheses just to keep it kind of nice. And then E. E's a fun one where I get to sound like a little brother again. Where I say negative 10 minus negative 2 minus negative 2 minus negative 2. You know, like little brothers or sisters like to repeat themselves. So hold on. minus negative 2 minus negative 2 minus negative 2. This feels redundant. So guys, hold up. Crap, I don't know why I'm writing 3 here. It's because John just said redonkulous and it distracted my brain.
What? I'm sorry.
I'm glad that you're sorry. So, guys, subtraction. We went through the whole deck. I should reshuffle. Subtraction. What's another... Yes, you were. You just called on yourself and your card was up, so that took your turn.
Okay.
Oh, John. You think I have no idea what I'm doing, don't you?
No, I don't. I think I have no idea.
Aiden, what's another way that we can talk about subtraction?
Okay, so since there's 3 2s, can we just make it to a 6?
We can, but not yet. I don't want to. All right, I need focus up here because I'm trying to teach this better than before, but I feel like some of you are just a little distracted. Subtraction. We often say take away, right? But guys, wait a minute. Take away a negative is now actually adding, right? We're actually getting more positive. So subtraction does not always make us go smaller, make us go more negative, right? Subtraction just says either take away, turn around, go the other direction. It can say a lot of things, and in this case, it's actually turning into addition. But it adds 2, 2, and 2, and that kind of gets redundant. How many 2s do I add here? 3. So I really could just say negative 10 plus 2 times 3. Right? Am I allowed to say that? Yeah, there are 3 2s. So that's really negative 10 plus 6. And we get negative 4. Look where I'm pointing. On my wall. And these are always up here, even when you take tests. There are reminders for in multiplication and division versus addition, subtraction. When we're multiplying, like those of you that are already trying to move on to 55, even though obviously 55 is not the next question we're going to do, when we multiply, the rules are different than when we add. Because, guys, right here shows us, what did minus a negative do? The opposite of a negative? It's actually addition. Right? Minus a negative. And here's where people confuse the rules. Guys, I'm trying to show you the trap door. Where people confuse the rules is 2 negatives in multiplication, the opposite of a negative. This is going to become positive. And, guys, this is really tricky. Minus a negative, that's not 2 negative numbers. Right? Minus a negative. Minus a negative also becomes plus. Negative times a negative. Wait. Guys, what if I put, here, don't write anything right now. What if I put 2 minus 4 times negative 3? And what if, so that really minus a negative didn't we just up here 4 times negative 3, hold on a second, minus negative 3 minus negative 3 minus negative 3 minus negative 3. Didn't I just do minus negative 3 4 times? And what does every minus a negative turn into? Addition. Guys, this is why this rule exists. When we say a negative times a negative, I'm probably going to bump down here to make writing this. When we say a negative times a negative makes a positive, the reason is, because guys, I'm trying really hard this year to make sure you understand the reason behind. The reason is when I have a group of tiles, a group of numbers, and I take away negatives over and over again, it actually makes my set become more positive. Taking away negatives becomes more positive. So let's look at 52 together. Sorry, 54. So on your graph paper, and then we'll come back to 55, and I should have just the right amount of time. Go ahead and on your graph paper, write down negative 7, minus 7. I don't know quite how you want to say that. But minus 7 or negative 7, however you want to say it, times negative 11. Talk with your team about what that's going to become. Just like in those European countries where things make sense. Actually, they probably make euros. That was a really bad joke. Trying to relate that they don't use cents in their money, they use euros. Mr. Smith, I maybe just made the worst joke I've ever made.
They have
Said in France where things make sense, actually they probably make euros. But we always start at 0. We all, like, any situation starts at 0, and then we talk about what we have. Most of the time, we skip the 0. Because if I write down 0 in front of this, it actually looks like minus. Like 0 minus 7 times negative 11. And we know, I know that didn't work like I wanted it to. This is really multiplication, which means multiple times. I could rewrite this like this. Take away negative 11, take away negative 11, take away negative 11, take away negative 11. What do you need, Mr. Smith? Right here. We're looking everywhere but where they were.
Yeah. You needed 1B?
Nah, I don't even teach 1B. So if I take away negative 11 7 times, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is what this means, right? Take away negative 11 7 times. So I'm doing this 7 times. What does every take away a negative turn into? Plus, it turns into addition. So now plus 11, plus 11, plus 11, plus 11, plus 11, plus 11, plus 11. Boom, ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. Math is better with sound effects. Trust me. And now, what do we get?
negative 70. Wait, positive 77.
It's not negative. Careful of your trapdoor. If we want to make them fancy sevens, we can give them a bow tie. So guys, all of this, unnecessary. I'm just trying to get you to understand what's going on. What we are allowed to do, put your negative 7 in parentheses. So we have negative 7 times negative 11. And if we remember the rules, negative times negative, or two numbers multiplying that have the same sign, right? That's what this one is. It's that green poster that says same sign. This is going to give us a positive answer. So we know we get positive 77. Questions? You got like 2 or 3 minutes to pop back on your paper and look at this. And we will pick this up tomorrow as where we start. But I think your team should be able to work through this. If you have different signs, you're going to have a negative answer. If you have same signs, you're going to have a positive answer. Hey, that does not mean put your papers away. That means work on this for 2 minutes because we have time. Well, if you're done, then okay. Because I'm going to pull this up and we're going to make sure that we have answers correct. Find John, since you said you already did it. In the first one here, is my answer going to be negative or positive? Negative, because I only have one negative. So we get negative 12, which I would put in parentheses if I was you. Over here in the second one, negative 4 times negative 3, or we could say minus 4 times negative 3. But two negatives, when multiplied together, make a positive. So this is just positive 12. How many negatives do I have in this multiplication over here? Just one. So my answer is going to be negative 12. Guys, I would finish getting these written down. 2 times negative 7. Well, if I took away 7 twice, negative 14. Negative 2 times negative 7, though. If I did the opposite of negative 7, well, that'd be adding 7, right? Taking away negatives is really positive 14. And our final one here, negative 14. All right, have a wonderful day, guys. Please turn in your homework by the end of the day. 321 322. Vanessa, that doesn't seem like a. Maybe it's an okay idea now. Oh, I'll come around and get them. If you can just put your tiles in the bags, that'd be great. Thank you, thank you.